Chelsea fans, welcome back to Talking Chelsea. Welcome back to another match preview. This Thursday, Chelsea face Djurgården at Stamford Bridge in the second leg of the UEFA Conference League semi-final, and Chelsea could potentially be in another European final. Now, it was only last week that the first leg was played and Chelsea came out 4-1 victors, so this tie is essentially wrapped up, and it's a great opportunity to rest some key players ahead of the game against Newcastle this weekend. Having said that, we still have a job to do in the second leg. Even if we are resting players, we still have to treat the opposition with respect, go out and get the job done. So in this video, I'm going to be predicting my Chelsea starting 11 to face Djurgården in the second leg of the UEFA Conference League semi-final. And before we get into the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content. We're on the road to 10k by the end of 2025. Now, on paper, Chelsea walk into another European final. The job was done in the first leg, 4-1 up, a 3-goal cushion going into the second leg at Stamford Bridge. It was a very professional performance, and to be honest, that's what we need to do in this second leg. We are in a very blessed position where we can rest some players for the Newcastle game at the weekend and still field a strong enough team to get the job done. I don't feel like we're going to just sit back and play boring football and go for all 0-0. I feel like we are going to try and play some entertaining football for the fans that do attend at Stamford Bridge this Thursday. And this Conference League, people have been mudding it, people have been throwing disrespect at it, saying it's a tin pot trophy, and I hear what people are saying. Me, however, I've been really excited for Chelsea to be playing in this competition because people seem to forget we have an extremely young squad, and if they go on to win the Conference League, this would be absolutely huge for their confidence and for their taste of winning trophies. But regardless of that, let's predict the starting 11, who I feel that Enzo Marasca is going to field against Djurgården's second leg. And starting off in goal, we're going to go with Jorgensen. Obviously, we know he is our Cup competition goalkeeper. He's played majority of the Conference League, to be, if not all of it. Is there one game I think Sanchez may have played? I believe Jorgensen's played all of the games available. Now, look, I like Jorgensen. I think he's still got some time to develop. I feel like he needs more. He needs more time in the Premier League. Needs more game time. He does have a mistake in him. We've seen him. We were calling out for Jorgensen to be starting big spells across the season when Sanchez was making silly mistakes constantly. But you can clearly see that out of the two, Sanchez is the better goalkeeper. But Jorgensen's done very well in this competition, and it's a good confidence booster for him. If he could keep a clean sheet in this second leg, it does pose the question of who starts the final. Is it Sanchez or is it Jorgensen, because he's played so many games? Now, moving on to left back. Obviously, I would start Cucurella, but because of the circumstances of the game, we want to rest him for Newcastle. So I'm actually going to go with Malo Gusto. Last I checked on the injury list, he isn't on there, which means he should be fit, ready and available to play. He hasn't really had a good season in terms of consistent performances. It's been very hot and cold. He's been underperforming compared to what he did last season, and I know he's playing a completely different role, but we know how good Malo Gusto is. I personally, I've said many times, I don't like playing him at left back, but we don't have any other cover for Cucurella. And I feel like Reece James is going to play in midfield, potentially. We've got Ashimpong, who loves this competition and always plays well. And then you need to give Cucurella some minutes to rest. So we'll play Gusto on the left back, and hopefully they can use this game to kick on and boost his confidence a bit and integrate himself into Enzo Marasca's system a little bit more. Now, when it comes to the centre-backs, I'm going to start on the left-hand side with Badiashile. I feel like, again, he is that backup left-sided centre-back. And look, I'm not his biggest fan, but across this season, when he has played and had a job to do, he's actually been very solid. So I've been very impressed with how he has been playing this season. The first half of the season, yeah, he was a bit woeful, but every time he's come on as a substitute or filled in for someone else or even played in the cup competitions, he's had some solid performances. So I can't really knock him too much. Now, when it comes to the centre-back pairing, I feel like it's going to be Tosin, purely because it looks like our starting centre-back pairing currently is Chalobah and Colwell. And I'm happy with that. The way they played against Liverpool was unbelievable. And I just really enjoyed it. So Badiashile, Tosin as that centre-back pairing in Europe, I feel it's more than enough to get the job done. And Djurgården actually put it on us a lot when they're at home. They didn't just roll over and let us get the win. Yes, the quality shone through and Djurgården made a lot of mistakes, but they also had some very good chances to actually, score a couple goals and make things incredibly difficult for us. So we do need a solid defensive display, and I feel like we'll do that at home just to kind of see this tie out. It's an uphill mountain for Djurgården to come away to Stamford Bridge and beat us by at least 3 to 4 goals. But we've seen crazy things happen in Europe. Now, when it comes to right back, I am going to go with Ashimpong. If I can spell it right. There we go. Got it right first time. I'm getting better. Because this is his competition. And again, What I really like about Enzo Marasca is he's playing a lot of academy players in the right way across the season in different games, whether it's cup games, the Conference League, Premier League games, whenever we've had injuries and, Ashimpong's needed to play in different positions, within Enzo Marasca's system. Ashimpong looks the real deal. He looks class. He looks mustard. Every time he plays, he's fantastic. So for me, he has to start right back. Now, when it comes to the double pivot, again, we have a very rare opportunity here to rest Enzo Fernandez, to rest Caicedo for the Newcastle game. So I feel like Reece James is actually going to play in almost like the Caicedo role, because Enzo Marasca sees him as a midfielder. I'm still not sold on Reece James as a midfielder. He is a right back, but he doesn't have the legs because of his consistent injuries to be a up and down right back for 90 minutes. Unfortunately, we just have to accept that as Chelsea fans. And I like the potential of seeing Reece James in midfield or inverting from the right, because we know he's definitely got the skill set to do so. I feel like he just needs to get more confident and comfortable with it. And he has had some really good games in the Conference League playing in that role to showcase what he can do, scoring goals, getting further high up the pitch, obviously helping out defensively. And you know how good he is with the ball, how he can pick a pass, obviously how he can defend, break the play up, make them interceptions. So I feel like it's a given that James will play Thursday night, and then on the right-hand side for the Newcastle game, it will more likely be Caicedo again, especially if Lavia is still fit and he'll invert. Now, to pair up with Reece James, this is where it gets a bit of a free-for-all, because we could have KDH, we could have Enzo Fernandez and not rest him for too much, because who are you going to play in that 10 role? Enzo Fernandez, Cole Palmer, KDH, they can all play that. I'm actually going to go Reece James and Amugu. It'd be so good to see him get some minutes, because he's had like a handful. And we haven't really seen how good he can be or how bad he can be. So I feel like a game like this, we've got a 3-goal cushion. We're playing a relatively strong defence there. We should be okay. Midfield, obviously, with Reece James and Amugu. I think that'll be super cool to see. Now, on the left-hand side, I'm actually going to go with Jadon Sancho. And I know that Sancho can play in the Premier League and he's on rotation. But I really think we're onto something with Noni Madueke on the left-hand side, Pedro Neto on the right. This would be a great game to, again, rest them, maybe bring them on in the second half to, keep their legs going for the weekend. But I feel like Sancho playing on the left-hand side would be fantastic. When it comes to the number 10, Nkunku's still injured. I feel like it's going to be KDH to start. I don't know why I put KDH. It's not going to know what that means. Dewsbury Hall. We're going to play Dewsbury Hall in that 10. Now, we could play Cole Palmer. He did score against Liverpool. You want to keep the momentum going. He's picking up assists in consecutive games. And essentially, we could put Dewsbury Hall in that holding role with James and then Cole Palmer in the 10. Right? That's more than likely what's going to happen. But I would really like to see Amugu get some minutes. Dewsbury Hall in the 10. Now, on the right-hand side, I'm actually going to go and start Noni Madueke. Only for a half, though. Only for a half. Because we don't really have a lot of variation or options when it comes to the wings. We could play Tariq George, we could play Sancho, Madueke, Neto. That's it. However, when it comes to the number 9, I feel like Madueke would work on the right. Maybe it is just for the half, and I'll explain why. The number 9 for me, I don't want Nicholas Jackson. I want Tariq George. If I can spell, that is Tariq George. I want Tariq George to start as the 9 in the first half. In the second half, I would take Noni Madueke off. I would put Sancho onto the right, George onto the left, and maybe give Jackson or Mecca some minutes and really rotate that squad, depending on how the game goes. I feel like that 11 is more than good enough to see out a victory. Right, now we may see Dewsbury Hall in that 6 role with James. We may see Enzo Fernandez playing that 10 role, maybe for the first half. We could see Cole Palmer playing in the first half. Enzo Marasca isn't going to completely bench everyone, I feel like, because it is a semi-final second leg. He is taking this seriously. It is the only piece of silverware that we can win. This is just what I would like to see. We were 3 goals up. We're at home. It should be relatively comfortable. Give some people some minutes. We've still got some first teamers in there in terms of Tosin, Gusto, James, Sancho, Madueke. I feel they're more than good enough. Amugu gets some minutes. Dewsbury Hall gets some minutes in that 10 because he's played very well in that 10 role in the Conference League. And it seems to go overlooked quite a lot. Give Tariq George some minutes, starting minutes up as that number 9. I really like him in that number 9 role. It rests Jackson a little bit, takes the pressure off a bit. And again, on the second half, bring Jackson on, put George on the left, Sancho on the right, take Noni off to rest him against Newcastle. And then you're keeping Pedro Neto completely free. Sancho's had a run out. Noni's had a run out. even in the 10 role, you could take a Mugu off, drop Dewsbury Hall back in, play Palmer for 20 minutes or whatever at the end of the game. I feel like there's a lot of variety in terms of how we can change the game with a squad like this. So that is my predicted 11 to face Djurgården in the second leg Thursday night at Stamford Bridge. Do you agree with my lineup or do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. I love having a conversation with you guys. Obviously, we do have a 3-goal advantage going into the second leg, so that's why I've gone for a slightly weaker squad, but curious to know your thoughts. And if you have watched all the way to the end, firstly, you're a real one, but secondly, there'll be a thumbnail that pops up on the screen. So if you are a Chelsea fan who enjoys Chelsea content, make sure you click that thumbnail because you'll enjoy that video too.